Hey, true believers, this is Keith Mathias standing in for Matt Haywood. He's currently bronzing himself on the beaches of South Carolina, taking you with another episode of the OG Buddhacast where we talk about everything regards to, our favorite hobby, video games. I'm here today with John Fletcher. John, how's it going?
Hey, buddy, not too bad. Thanks for having me.
All right. So, as we are all sort of aware, Gamescom, one of the biggest gaming conferences in the world, wrapped up in Cologne, Germany last week. And we're here to kind of, just sort of give a reaction to that. We've heard the news. We've seen the games. We're excited. Everything's cool. So, John, what were some of your favorite things that came out of Gamescom? Let's go with like two of them.
Okay, yeah, cool. I mean, I think to me this was Xbox's show, which was good to see because they've been getting their asses handed to them by Sony for a while now. So two things for me were the backwards compatibility, which is just huge because we haven't seen that for nearly 2 console generations now.
True, yeah. The 360 kind of had backwards compatibility, and the PlayStation 3 started with it. Yeah, but both kind of got dropped after a while.
Yeah, I mean, the 360 was weird because it never really... I mean, I don't know if it was different in the States. In the UK, they never actually told you what was compatible.
Yeah, that's same here.
So yeah, I was like, maybe Fable will work. Maybe not. It's good. It's a big announcement, I think. It's a big draw. I know a lot of my friends who are on the fence are now thinking about getting the Xbox.
Oh, really? That's that's a system seller.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Other big thing for me, it's a bit random, it's Halo Wars 2.
Really?
I think I'm the only person I know, but I loved the original Halo Wars.
Okay. Why? May I ask why?
Yeah, absolutely. To my mind, the best RTS on a console that actually works on a console.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, people say Red Alert's great RTS, and it's a great RTS if you're on a PC and you got a keyboard and a mouse.
Yep.
But Halo Wars, just a gamepad, you could get everything going, you could get big armies, it felt like Halo, some great characters in there, I loved it, so really excited to see a second one.
Sweet, man, sweet. Yeah, I definitely agree, it's probably the single best RTS on a console ever. Yeah. I played the StarCraft on the N64, way back in the day.
Oh, wow.
It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Frame rate drops after where there were more than 2 units on screen. It was not good, not fun at all.
No, so it was crazy. But yeah, big announcement. Happy.
Cool. Yeah, no, that was kind of a wild card coming out at the end of what, like you said, was a really, really excellent conference. To kind of dig a little bit further into Microsoft's conference, because I agree with you, they stole the show. But looking at some of the games, Quantum Break looks freaking amazing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and what's really kind of interesting to me is from when did they originally announced it at E3 2013, I think, when they were kind of trotting out their big, this is what's going to be coming to Xbox One. And it didn't... I didn't really have any idea of what it was going to be like, aside from it's like, oh, hey, this looks really pretty and it has something to do with time. All right, cool. And then they showed us a little bit of something last year, and it looked a little bit different, and I still had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
And then they showed us a little bit more at Gamescom, last week, and it looks awesome. And this is definitely the most information that we've gotten about Quantum Break yet. Although, to be perfectly honest, I still feel like there's almost nothing that we have that's really nailed down as far as story or setting or anything other than the fact that the guy who played Peter Baelish and the guy who played Iceman are going to be engaging in some sort of time-bending battle that looks fucking amazing.
I was gonna say, Peter Baelish and Iceman having like a weird Doctor Who feud is enough to sell me on this game.
Right,
But
right.
but I think you're right. I think it's one of these things that kind of disappeared. I think really all the games Xbox was kind of like, oh, these are going to be our games, got buried by just the having to fix everything gamers told them was wrong about the launch of the Xbox One.
Yep, yep.
So
Yes, exactly, exactly. I've been saying it for a while, but that first 2013 conference from Xbox One, or from Microsoft, forgive me, was excellent. And it's just been like all of the awesome games have been kind of buried
yeah,
by, like you said, by the controversy of the console itself.
so yeah, I'm excited now because I think we're getting to this point where they've kind of overcome that. People like the PS4 is outselling them fine, but they're making back a little bit of ground, so we can finally see some games.
Mhm.
And I think this is going to be some exciting times going forward.
Yeah, and I personally, I mean, where Sony still has to do a lot for me as far as exclusive games are concerned, because I just don't see much aside from stuff like Uncharted and and pretty much the Naughty Dog stuff. But they really haven't been doing a whole lot to really be like, oh hey, like you can only buy these games on this console. And I don't know, there's not much of a real system seller there.
Yeah,
I
I,
guess kind of Bloodborne, but maybe not. I don't know.
I'm not sure. It depends how much you like steampunk goth cosplay, I guess.
I mean, that's fine, but
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I've always said I think like the at the end of the day, your games console is like having a nice car. Like the PS4 has a much bigger engine.
Mhm.
It's got all those fancy like rims and all of it, but it's got no fuel. There's nothing there for me to want to sit down and play.
Right.
So yeah, with the exclusive games, because you also had things like Crackdown got a look in this time.
Mhm.
I'm pretty pumped. I think the games are going to start clawing back some ground, hopefully.
Definitely, definitely. But also to kind of build off of that ends, this one's sort of exclusive, but not really. Rise of the Tomb Raider. It we know about the whole, like, it's a timed exclusive for something like a year, and it honestly looks pretty fantastic. I'm curious to see where sort of things go with it. If we just get kind of a clone of the, well, not first Tomb Raider game, but the one that came out a couple of years back, and to sort of see, okay, well, are we just rehashing everything that we did with that, but bigger and prettier, or are we really pushing the character of Lara Croft forward? Are we really introducing some new mechanics? I think it looks fantastic and super adventure-y and great, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's kind of it looks like it's going back to I don't know what you might call the first good Tomb Raider for a while, which was the first reboot.
Right.
Well, it wasn't even the first reboot, but you know what I
Mhm.
mean. So yeah,
What's it, 2012 reboot?
yeah.
Yeah, that one.
So I think that's looking really interesting. I gotta confess, and this is one of my sort of deep geek shame things, that
Mhm.
I haven't actually played a Tomb Raider since Tomb Raider One.
Oh man.
I know it's pretty terrible, and I always it's one of those things on the playground. You're like, oh, did you play the new Tomb Raider? I'm like, yeah, totally, totally.
Yeah, I never had a PlayStation until much later in my life. So the reboot was actually the first Tomb Raider that I ever played.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but okay, so we've hit on some good things. Do you have anything else that really sort of stuck out to you as like, oh man, that looks awesome?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I like Crackdown. I thought looked really
Hmm.
promising. I loved the first one.
Okay.
Then I think like with a lot of people, the second one kind of lost me
Yep.
because I think they took the wrong message from Crackdown One's success. They were like, oh, people love running around smashing stuff up. Let's make GTA with superheroes, and that's kind of what they did with Crackdown 2. You had the zombies, you had just crazy destruction, which was fun for kind of 20 minutes, 30 minutes to kill some time. But without the gangs and all that kind of evolving storyline you had in Crackdown 1, it just didn't do it for me. And it looks like they're going back to that now with the
Mm.
kind of network and you have to take out each individual person. I think I was really excited to see that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I I can't speak too much to Crackdown, never having played the first two. I don't know. The third one, I like the idea of 100% destructible environments, and
Oh
I mean, this seems to be one of the first games that's leveraging that the Xbox Live Cloud that Microsoft was all big and high about, a couple of years ago, but has kind of fallen under our radar. People have forgotten that there's not as the hardware itself isn't as powerful because we have this idea of cloud computing behind the console. So I'm really curious to see where that goes.
I agree with you. That's I hadn't even really considered that because I was looking at the shiny buildings falling down. But you're
Mhm.
right. It is the first time somebody's actually gone back to that and said, right, what can this actually do?
Right.
So yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that's gonna be pretty cool.
I think it's gonna be awesome. So, what in the show bummed you out? Was there anything in the show that bummed you out?
Yeah, and I'm gonna. There's two things. I'm gonna pick on Microsoft because I've been quite easy on them so far.
Okay.
One was Windows 10 streaming Xbox games. I was so excited for this. I was really pumped, and then I got my free upgrade, Windows 10. Tried
Mhm.
to upgrade it, nothing. Been trying for about 2 weeks, just cannot get anything,
Dude, lame.
and I've been stuck in kind of Microsoft support hell. So I feel like they like put some candy in front of me and then just smack me on the head when I try to get it.
Oh man, that is unfortunate.
Yeah.
And you're right. That sounds like such a wicked cool idea of being able to stream your games from your console to your PC. And yeah, for it just to not work,
It's just a pain.
that's a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Anything else? Anything else kind of rub you the wrong way?
yeah, I think the other one was Scalebound.
Really?
Yeah, I know people are excited for this. I've never really gone on board with JRPGs, and I know it's different. It's kind of more of an action game,
Hmm.
but it's that kind of aesthetic where the kid's got like Beats by Dre headphones, but he's fighting dragons.
Yeah.
Um, like if I'm fighting a dragon, like give me some plate mail and a big axe. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
don't. It just doesn't work for me, and obviously there's a lot of money going into it, and it's an exclusive, so they're really pumped. And I feel like there could have been something better in that exclusive slot, but I
Right.
think that's just my taste ultimately.
Okay. Okay. I thought that looked. I'm intrigued by it. I won't say that I'm super excited for it. I will agree with you. The aesthetic kind of rubbed me the wrong way, particularly and the guy who they got to voice act for the main character kind of sounded just not what I was. Maybe it just wasn't. It just didn't line up with what I was expecting. But I like how they're sort of combining your standard melee combat with being able to direct your dragon and have the dragon like fight alongside you instead of just being this big awesome thing that you ride around into battle. But I don't know. I'll remain cautiously optimistic about it. I'm not super pumped or anything like
No,
that.
I think that's fair. I mean, I think ultimately it comes down to it's not to my taste.
Okay.
Not every game is going to be, but
Sure, definitely,
wasn't to me. It wasn't something I was excited about.
definitely. Um, okay, so yeah, for me, I will. I mean, let's sort of pick on the real obvious here. Where the hell was Sony?
You know
And
what?
their lack of a presence there, especially after how much they just straight up wrecked, like killed it at E3. Um, I was just kind of disappointed to not really see anything from them.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, it almost feels like they're sitting on what I think it's up to like 4 times the sales now.
Hmm.
It's some like ridiculous. I think they like you said they wrecked it at E3. E3 was their show. It felt like they were kind of resting on their laurels, thinking, what are they going to do in Europe? But on the other hand, Xbox seems to have taken advantage of that.
Yeah, I was about to say Microsoft just showed up and they were the focus.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I agree with you. I've talked to a couple people about this, and nobody mentions Sony. Nobody talks about it. There's nothing going on.
Yep. So and like going back to another thing with them, they wrecked it at E3, but so much of what they had to show was stuff coming in the distant future. Whereas Microsoft has been really, really good about balancing, like, hey, this is coming down the pipeline, and hey, this is coming out at the end of the year. So I feel like Sony has been all about, oh, hey, we're gonna, get all these super huge, awesome titles that everybody's super excited for, but they're gonna come out sometime.
Yeah.
Whereas Microsoft is taking a very different approach of saying, hey, here's a bunch of games that you're going to play later this year, and here's even more games that look even cooler that you're going to be able to play next year and the year after that. So, I don't know. That the Sony's lack of a presence and their lack of a, and this is just kind of an overall thing against them, but their lack of a focus on this year, of the here and the now, is rubbing me the wrong way. But another thing that kind of bummed me out about Gamescom this year was Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And Matt Ray and I talked about this on this podcast a couple of months ago, back when Syndicate was first announced, and I just couldn't be more lukewarm about a game they spent a lot of time talking about the black box and the 360 approach. It's like, well, they did the exact same thing. Those were the exact same sort of catchphrases that they were using last year to describe Unity, and Unity was terrible. It was awful. And I mean, I understand why they're focusing on the black boxes and the 360 approach, because honestly, that was the best part of Unity. The idea behind, giving you like 30 odd ways to get into a building and sort of an unlimited number of approaches to do it, as opposed to making the game a very linear, like, okay, well, you have to climb in this window and you have to sneak past that guard. That was the best part of Unity. Unity just didn't work.
Yeah. I'm with you with Syndicate. I'm not really excited for it. We got burned with Unity. I think a lot of people were kind of like, Black Flag was this really good game. Everyone I know loved it, and then it comes out with that, and it's just terrible. My other question is, like, we're going to Victorian London. I'm not that excited. How have we had this many Assassin's Creed games, and not once have we been a ninja?
Yeah.
Like, if you're picking time periods, surely that's your next stop.
Yeah, and I mean, that's sort of been a rallying point for fans, right? Like, hey, we want feudal Japan really, really, really badly. And Ubisoft has just kind of been like, yeah, we might get to that eventually. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Well, I might play Syndicate. I probably won't, though. The whole rope shooter grappling hook thing looks kind of cool, but that just makes it look like Batman.
Because I'm Batman.
Yeah, in Victorian London. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anywho, I don't know. So, was there anything else that really sort of stuck out to you as kind of being a flop?
I think I kind of was expecting a bit more from all the different 3D guys. Not 3D, like
the VR.
VR. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, like, we've had all these announcements of different systems now coming in to challenge Oculus. We got Google Cardboard, you got all that. I was kind of expecting a little bit more kind of competition between all those guys, like, check out all this cool stuff you can do.
Sure.
And, there was, Oculus now has been in the news more for that time cover than anything else.
Right.
But there was no standout story to me. Like, obviously, previous shows, Matt's come back and, you had, like, the Halo 5 war table and all that kind of stuff.
Oh my god, that was awesome.
That was so cool. I wanted to see where it went now that competition's heating up. And it just didn't. So,
right.
I start to worry at that point, how much setup do you need to actually make that cool stuff happen?
Right.
And that starts to concern me a little bit.
So, I don't know. We'll see. And I mean, as far as that's concerned, some of it I feel like, okay, with technology like that, like Microsoft showed off the glass.
Yeah.
E3 was only, what, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a whole heck of a lot of time to make such massive improvements that, really kind of require being showed off at a separate convention. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that. I think.
Yeah.
I think I want more from that because I think that's so cool. So I might be being a little impatient.
Okay, true. Impatient might not be the right word. You're excited. You're excited. You want to see more.
Absolutely.
I want to see more. But anywho, so we've gone through some stuff that we've liked. We've gone through some stuff that we didn't necessarily like from Gamescom. You've read the news. You know what's up. You've checked out entertainmentbuddha.com. Followed our Twitter. Followed pretty much everything. You know what's up. We're awesome. And we make you a better geek one post at a time. John, is there anything else that you would like to say? What are you playing?
What am I playing? At the moment, I'm replaying Reassembly.
Yeah.
It's a game I reviewed for Entertainment Buddha a while ago. It's just so ridiculously fun. I picked it back up to kill 15 minutes a couple of weeks ago, and I've not stopped playing again.
Fantastic. Myself, I'm sitting down. I'm still going through Witcher 3, trying to find everything. I haven't been a completionist like this since I don't even know, man. So I'm trying to hit pretty much everything before the new game plus mode comes out, and before we hit some of the major, like the story DLC. It's coming out later this year.
It's just before we hit some new games, it's been a dry couple weeks.
It has been a dry couple of weeks, but hey, we talked about that couple casts ago. The dog days of summer. It happens every year. It's okay. We're good. Yeah, I know. Dear God, sunshine. Anyhow, I think we're done. Let's put this podcast to bed. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure to check out entertainmentbuddha.com every day. We make you a better geek, one post at a time. We're awesome. We love you. Thanks very much. We'll catch you next time. Peace.